Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, it is currently 2:50 in the morning. I was in bed, hanging out, about to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden LSS decides that they just want to drop a bomb on us. LSS Flesh and Blood ended up releasing the deck list, so to speak, for the Blitz decks in the Part the Mistveil collection box. They showed the cards that are going to be available for all three heroes in New, Enigma, and Zen. So naturally, they showed us a lot of new cards. I'd say they revealed, we're going to see them, I'm going to show them to y'all, but revealed about 30 new cards. So we're going to go over them. I've been sitting here like having fun, brewing decks, talking to people, going nuts. Like I was about to go to sleep, and now I've been here for 2 hours trying to make this video. I originally was going to do it just by scrolling, but I wanted to show it kind of in a more clear picture because it's a little bit hard to digest, I think. So I wanted to like break it up in equipment, commons, rares, so you can understand it. I'm only going to show the cards that aren't reprints, that are new. So there are a couple reprinted cards. So definitely check out the link down below if you want to at the end of this video. Check it out for yourself, read all about it. They also dropped the hero lore pages. We'll get right into it. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. If I'm a little bit discombobulated, it's 3 a.m. I've been going crazy with this for literally 3 hours, having fun. So forgive me for the craziness, but we're going to bring it up here. So I brought up what I wanted to do instead of scrolling, because the scrolling made it a little bit hard to kind of keep track of what's what. I broke it up. We're going to go over Zen stuff first, then Enigma, then New. We're going to go over just the new cards, and I broke it up into 3 sections for each hero. We're going to start with the equipment, then we'll do commons, then we'll do rares, and so on and so forth. And that's all. And then for New specifically, we also have a reactions section as well, so you can kind of see it all at once and take it all in a more digestible format. So feel free to pause whatever you need to do. But here is Zen's equipment suite. First, in the Blitz deck, obviously we might get some Majestics and Legendaries once more reveals happen, but this is in the Blitz deck specifically. So first things first, his weapon has been revealed, Tiger Taming Chakra. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Once per turn, pay 2 resources to attack. It attacks for 2. It has go again, and it says when this attacks, the next crouching tiger you play this combat chain gets +1. So this is pretty close to what we predicted on the channel. Actually, really close. Almost like, I think I said 2 for 3 instead of 2 for 2. But overall, what I'll give the goods and bads about this weapon. I'm not going to go super in depth on every one. I just want to kind of give you initial thoughts and kind of move on. But I love that it doesn't have to require an on hit. It just automatically gives your next tiger +1. That's very important because even with Tiger Stripe Shuko, it's going to be a little weird if you make multiple tigers in a turn to get both of them to have +1, and you don't want to have to try to force that all the time, and you don't want to be breaking the chain if we end up using Mask Momentum, which if Zen wants to go super wide with a bunch of tigers, I have a feeling Mask Momentum is going to be a really important card, but we'll see. So the fact that this doesn't require an on hit, it just says when this attacks, the next crouching tiger you play this chain gets +1, is really, really good. The 2 for 2 is a little bit below rate, but you're wanting to pitch in this set, it looks like, because you'll see with Zen's kit, a lot of his cards say if you've pitched a blue this turn, so you want to pitch, right? It's not like normal Ninja where you're trying to go pitchless, right? You're trying to like not cost a lot. In this deck specifically, you do want to be pitching every turn, right? Because it's going to fuel it. It's going to be interesting to see if this ends up being better than Kadachi's, but regardless, super cool weapon, really excited for it. Then we have the equipment suite. We go head, chest, arms, and legs here. The head piece, just the name itself, Mask of Wizened Whiskers. This is awesome. I want this in Cold Bowl so bad just to have it. I just want to say I'm playing Whiskers. It's hilarious. When this defends, put a card with combo from your graveyard to the bottom of your deck, so it allows you to go get a card back. It has Blade Break 1. Not too bad for a common equipment. Like that's pretty good. I have loved that since heavy hitters and even bright lights, but heavy hitters specifically, the equipment game for the casual like Blitz decks and like the base level stuff has stepped up tremendously. It's like not throwaway equipment anymore. It's actually useful stuff for new players to be able to play with and enjoy, which I really love. Then we have Heirloom of Tiger Hide. It's cloak, so it starts face down, which is really cool. We've seen the cloaked keyword. I haven't gone over that on the channel yet, actually. I was going to do that tomorrow. I was just going to go over the cloak keyword stuff that was revealed in Richmond. I'll do a later video on that. But now we have cloak keyword stuff that says, while this is equipped face down at the start of your turn, if you have exactly 1 life, 1 health, you may turn this face up. And it has Blade Break 3. So if you're on your last leg, if you're on 1 life, you can turn this face up at the start of your turn, have a 3 block for your next defensive turn, which is really, really nice. The cloak keyword, what I'll say, and we'll talk about this in a later video, I enjoy it. I think it's really cool. Maybe in the initial set, it might not be too crazy, right? Like, you pretty much know what it's going to be. It can be like 1 of 2 or 3 things. But as the game grows and maybe they grow on this keyword, it could be really cool to sit across from a person and they have a cloaked arm piece, and it could be 1 of 5 arm pieces. I think that would be really, really interesting. I'm really excited for that, and so on and so forth. So that's a really cool piece. The next one out of all 4 of these, I think is the most powerful, is the arm piece. It's a cloaked attack reaction that you pay 1, turn this face up, target attack, it's +1. At the start of your turn, destroy this. So you flip this on your turn, paying 1. Basically, it's like a breaking skill, so you have to pay for it. But it blocks for 1 on the next turn. So you'll get 2 value from it, like +1 on your turn, because you do it like midway through your turn, and then you block with it on their turn, and then it destroys at the start of your turn, your next turn. So really, really good for that. Again, it's not going to be too mysterious, right, at the start, because we're not going to have a ton of cloaked equipment. But later on and so forth, it could be really cool. And also, there's other cloaked arms in this set that Zen could play that have to do with preventing damage. So you don't know, are they playing the +1 cloaked? Are they playing the prevention damage cloaked? Like, you're not sure, right? So that's really cool. And then finally, the legs, Stride of Reprisal. When this defends, create a crouching tiger in hand. So it's Blade Break 1, gives you that extra value, and then allows you to have a crouching tiger ready to go into your next turn. So a tiger eye reflex type thing. And it's going to be interesting, right? Is Zen going to play really aggro, or is there going to be a way to play mid-range, almost control like turtle like Zen, where you're making tigers on your opponent's turn and then using them to fuel your next turn on yours and play like this mid-range game and really be able to outvalue your opponent? Really interesting. We'll have to see. Then we have the commons for Zen. So he has 6 commons in the Blitz deck. Again, I didn't add in a couple like reprints, like flex clauses in there. So I only add the new cards, so keep that in mind when you look at the link. But we start with Companion of the Claw. This is a 2-cost, 2-block, attacks for 4 with Go Again. And it says, when this attacks, if you've pitched a blue card this turn, create a crouching tiger in your hand. So it's essentially a 2 for 5 if you've pitched a blue, because, right, you're going to pitch a blue to play this card, and then it's going to see that you've pitched a blue and create a crouching tiger. That's how it works, right? It's not like you had to pitch a blue on the card prior. So if you pitch a blue to play this, it will be a 2 for 4 that will then create a crouching tiger. And if you've played, if you have Tiger Stripe Shuko, and you can play something else that's 2 or less and then playing that tiger, you can start really, going off with these chains. So it doesn't require an on hit, anything like that. You just pitch blue, play it. It's a 2 for 4 Go Again that gives you another point of value, which is really, really nice. And if we can find ways to keep those tigers not having 0 base and keep them at 1 base, you could go on these insanely long chains and just do some really nutty stuff. So that one's really cool. Biting Breeze is the full art for Zen's deck. It says, when this hits, create a crouching tiger in your banish zone. You may play it this turn. It's a 0 for 3 Go Again. It's basically Flex Claws, but 0 for 3 instead of 1 for 4. Nothing too crazy with there. Then you have Harmony of the Hunt. When this attacks, if you've pitched a blue card this turn, create a crouching tiger in your hand. It's a 1 for 3 Go Again. So it's basically Companion of the Claw, but 1 for 3 instead of 2 for 4. It's going to be really interesting to see how Art of War works in this deck, because it seems like it's going to be pretty easy to do it, right? You're going to be putting a lot of Crouching Tigers in your hand, so on and so forth. It's going to be really fun to see how that works. Overall, I'm really excited. And these have really cool synergy with the specialization that costs 3, that allows you to create 2 Crouching Tigers in your hand and give +1 and Transcend if you've played a blue card. So it's going to be really interesting to see some of the unique lines. I'm really excited to see some great deck builders figure these decks out and do some cool stuff with them. Then we have Tiger Form Incantation. It is a 1-cost 3-block, which is good for Ninja, that says the next Crouching Tiger you play this turn gets +3. If you pitch a blue card this turn, create a Crouching Tiger in your hand. So you can pitch a blue, play this. It's basically like Rise from the Ashes for Fi, except It costs 1 instead of 0, but it blocks for 3. So the thing about this deck is, again, you're not going to want to be pitchless, right? Like at first you see the 1 cost, you're like, oh, 1 for 3, like that's okay. But you're wanting to pitch that blue because you want to be able to turn on, because you think about it, if you play Tiger Form Incantation into Companion of the Claw, you've now made, and you pitched a blue to do that, you've now made 2 tigers. And your first tiger is going to come in for 3, and then the second tiger that you made, because of Shugo, will come in for 1, right? So off a 3-card hand, you're attacking for 4. You're attacking for 4, and then 3, and then 1, right? So that's really, really good. 3-card hand, you're attacking for 8, threatening mask, a little bit underrated, but you are threatening mask, and there might be some other ways you can do it. So I'm super excited about that. I think it's really good at red. The 3 block is what makes it really worth it, right? Like at worst, it's a 3 block in your deck, which isn't too bad. Then we have Untamed. When this attacks the next Crouching Tiger you play, this combat chain gets +1. So as you can see, like we start to have some synergy stuff here, right? Where you really can make sure that those tigers are staying above that, because they're naturally 0 base, right? But you can make sure they stay above that 0 base, right? Like playing cards like Growl and Untamed to give your tigers +1, and then playing cards like Tiger Form Incantation and Companion of the Claw and Harmony to get tigers and to buff tigers. Really, really cool. I'm really interested to see the synergy. Is it going to be better than Katsu? Who knows? But I do think that it's an improvement to the Tiger archetype. And the thing about these is, as you can notice, Biting Breeze is a generic ninja action, can be played in Katsu. Untamed is a generic ninja attack action, can be played in Katsu. So it'll be interesting to see how those work. And then finally, Water the Seeds is a generic attack action. Attacks for 3, blocks for 2, costs 1. It says when this attacks, your next attack this combat chain with 1 or less base gets +1. So this basically will buff a tiger. I think is the best way to look at it, but it is generic. So other decks are going to be able to use it, which is really interesting. So let me know what you think in the comments. Out of all these, I like the Untamed card. I like the fact that I like this paired with Growl, because it's going to allow me to keep that chain going, right? Like what's going to be a feels bad is if you play 2 or 3 of these attacks out and you can't buff that tiger, so then you turn off your Mask of Momentum just because you can't buff it. That sucks. So being able to play stuff like Untamed and Growl is going to keep those chains going and have, a really good time. Then the rares for Zen, I ended up adding in Key Unleashed, even though it's a reprint, because there's only 3 rares for Zen in his Blitz deck versus the other heroes that have like 4 or 5. So I did add the reprint in here just to show it. We have the Wind Chakra, which we've seen, that says the next Crouching Tiger you play this turn gets +3 for 0 cost, which is good. Blocks for 3. And if you transcend it, it gets +5. It's even better, right? Really, really good. I think out of all the chakras, I think this one's the best one personally, because it's just the value you get from it is pretty nuts. Then we have Aspect of Tiger Mind. I'm wondering if this is just a 1-color pitch rare. I think we have had rares in the past that were just 1-color pitch, because it's a combo that's a 0 for 1 no-go again. You're right. If it doesn't combo, it has no text. Just a 0 for 1 block 3. But it says when this attacks, if a blue attack action card was the last attack this combat chain, it gets go again, and you create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone. You may play it this turn, right? So it becomes a 0 for 1 go again that then gives you another 0 for 1, right? Because it gets buffed from Shuko. So it could help you extend chains. If this becomes in yellow and red, I could honestly see playing this at red. It's basically a pouncing key, but instead of the 0 for 4 go again, you get 0 for 3 and then add on a chain, which could be really good. But even if it comes in blue, at worst, it's a blue block 3, right? That on a off turn, on a weird turn, could get you a little bit more value. Super good. And then we have Key Unleashed. This card's really interesting. It's basically Flying Kick, but for Crouching Tigers. If a Crouching Tiger was the last attack this combat chain, this gets +4, so it becomes a 2 for 7 with 3 block, which is pretty good. We'll see. I could see running like one of these. When I did do my Tiger Katsu builds, I was always keen on running one of these, because on a certain play, like where you play Flex Claws and it hits, and you don't have any other option, you could go get this, play your Crouching Tiger, and then play Key Unleashed for 7, right? Not amazing, but off a 3-card hand, right, you're end up coming in for 11 damage. That's not too bad. Super keen on that. So these are the 3 rares. So that is Zen's. There are some reprints. Definitely go check them out down below. Then we have Enigma stuff. So Enigma stuff's really interesting. I'm new to Illusionist, so it's been really fun seeing this. But we have Cosmo Scroll of Ancestral Tapestry. That is a mouthful. It says, during your turn, auras you control with ward are weapons with base equal to their ward value, and they have a once per turn action, pay 1 to attack with them. Your aura attacks with 1 or more +1 counters on them get go again. So I'm going to flip to the comments for a second just to kind of show you what that means. So, for example, you have Waning Vengeance that says, when this leaves the arena, if you've pitched a blue card this turn, create a Spectral Shield, right? So keep in mind it says auras you control with world. It doesn't say non-token auras. It just says auras you control with ward, right? I don't even... Is there a token aura? I'm not sure. Is Spectral Shield a token aura? Anyway, it's late, y'all. 3 a.m. So Waning Vengeance is a ward 3. So basically Waning Vengeance will be a 1-cost 3-attack weapon that if you can give it a +1 counter some way, be a Shimmers of Silver or something like that, maybe even Phantom Tideball, I think, it will be a 1 for 3 go again. So if you can somehow keep Shimmers on the board or keep something on the board that gives +1 counters, and you can start giving this +1 counters, all of a sudden, if you can keep this on the field, it starts becoming like a 1 for 3, 1 for 4, or 1 for 4. It'll be a 1 for 4 if it has go again. 1 for 4, 1 for 5, 1 for 6, go again, which is insane. But you got to keep it on the board, right? It's going to be really interesting to see how much you can keep the ward on the board and how much you can really get that value. Remains to be seen with Enigma's kit. But for her equipment suite in the Blitz decks, you have the Cloaked. Again, starts the game face down. It says instant, pay 1 resource, turn this face up, put an aura from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck, so allow you to cycle your ward. It also has ward 1 itself. And it's not an aura, so you can't use it or anything like that, but it does have ward, which is very important because if you're trying to keep one of these common wards up, right, like you don't want them to pop, you can pop with it your equipment, right? Which, again, maybe we'll start seeing Celestial Kimono and Diadem of Dream State in because you can get the abilities off and then pop them when you need to save your more important auras. So really cool for that. The chest, Heirloom of Rabbit Hide, also is cloaked. It says when this is equipped face down at the start of your turn, if you have exactly 1 resource, you may turn it, or 1 health, you may turn it face up, and it has ward 4. So it basically can act as a block 4 if you're on 1 life, kind of a last-ditch effort type thing. Then we have Uphold Tradition, which is an instant pay 1 resource, turn this face up, put a +1 counter on an aura you control with ward. This one's really good, right? You pay 1 resource and you basically give like Waning Vengeance +1 counter, and then all of a sudden it becomes a 1 for 4 go again, right? Really, really good because of her weapon. And then finally, Skywalker Kyoki. Cloaked instant, destroy this, prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to you this turn. Activate this ability only while this is face down, right? So it's prevention. I love the Skywalker thing. It's really cool. But yeah, super excited about Enigma's kit. Nothing too crazy. She has a lot of commons. So there's 8 commons in her Blitz deck. You have Waning Vengeance. It's a Waning Vengeance, which says when this leaves the arena, if you pitched a blue card this turn, create a Spectral Shield, right? So if you're able to, get a little bit of value, maybe you're pitching on defense to block or pitch into play an aura at instant speed or something like an instant speed aura or something like that, and then this pops, you can get a little bit of value by creating that Spectral Shield and being able to use that for later, which can fuel other things like the old cards, like the Dynasty cards that are like 0 for 4 go against with Phantasm and stuff like that. It could be used for that, to keep that Spectral on the field, so then you can play those cards. Then you have Single-Minded Determination. When this enters the arena, if you control no other Illusionist auras, put a +1 counter on this. So this automatically will get go again, right? So you pay this for 2. If it's the only one, maybe a turn 1 play, all of a sudden you give it a +1 on it. And now you ask your opponent on the next turn, okay, right, can you get rid of this, right? Can you threaten enough damage in order to maybe pop this? If not, I'm already going to be off to the races by attacking as a 1 for 3 go again, basically. Really, really good for that, right? Then we have Spectral Manifestation. Says create a Spectral Shield token. Then if you control no other Illusionist auras, put 3 +1 counters on this. This is pretty nuts on it. So you create a spectral shield and then put 3+1 counters on it, right? So yeah, token aura. So I guess that's correct. So spectral shield would work with her weapon. Sorry, y'all. Again, it is late. So that will become, it already comes in as a 1-for-1 no go again. But if you put, 3+1s on it, all of a sudden a spectral shield will be a 1-for-4 go again, which is really good. It is a 2-block, and that probably makes sense because of the amount of value you're getting from it. But yeah, really cool on that one. Then we have Solitary Companion. When this enters the arena, if you control no other illusionist auras, create a spectral shield. I like that these all have if you control no other auras, because if they all pop because you couldn't block out enough on your turn, it's you want to make sure that people can get some value from that. And I do love that most of these auras block, at least for 2. Some of them block for 3, because it's going to allow her to be able to potentially keep that ward up. And it's not like the normal illusionist problem where you just run into a bunch of no blocks, right? Then you have Haze Shelter, which has ward X, where X is 4 if you pitched a blue card this turn. Otherwise, X is 1. So if you pitch a blue card to play this, it'll automatically have ward 4, which is really, really nice. And it just becomes, 1-for-4. And if you can give a counter on it, it's now a 1-for-5 go again, which is really, really nuts. Then we have First Tenet of Chi Moon. This is a mystic action, so every hero can actually run this, but it's in her kit specifically in the Blitz decks. Your next blue attack this turn gets, when this attacks, draw a card. Really, really good. Like, really good, especially in her, because she's playing blue auras, to make them weapons to then attack with them. And then able to play this and you play this beforehand and then draw a card. Really, really good value. I also see this being used in Zen a lot, potentially. Being able to play this and then play like a 0-cost attack, draw, or even a new. Being able to play this, maybe you swing with your dagger and then you play a 0 contract for 0-for-3 go again, draw a card. Again, really stupid stuff you can do with the deck. But really, really strong card. I see this being played at pretty much every hero. Who knows if it's a 1 or a 3 of, but in the Blitz deck, really, really powerful. Then we have Waxing Spectre. If you've pitched a blue card this turn, this enters the arena with a +1 counter. So it's automatically a 1-for-4 go again with her weapon ability, which is really nice. All of these cost either 2 or 0. The Waning Vengeance costs 1, but everything else costs 2, which is really interesting when you're pitching a blue. You always have 1 floating. I guess it's to play it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's to like attack with a weapon 1 time with go again and then play an aura to end your turn off 1 blue or something. That could be really good. Then we have Vengeful Apparition. When this leaves the arena, if you control no other illusionist auras, you may play your next aura with cost 0 this turn as though it were an instant. If you do, it enters the arena with a +1 counter. That is insane, right? If this leaves and you have nothing else, you can drop in a Shimmers at instant speed and automatically give it go again, or give it +1, and then it's going to get go again, right? Insane value here. So I'm really excited about her. She definitely is going to be complicated. I can see why they gave her a 5-star when it comes to like complexity of the deck and piloting it, because just reading these cards, like keeping all this ward alive and keeping track and really evaluating if you want to keep it up or not is really, really interesting. But we'll have to see. Then we have her rares. I put her art over on the left just to kind of make it symmetrical, but we have Second Tenet of Chi, Tide. This is a mystic attack action, so every hero can technically play this, but it says if you've transcended this turn, this gets +2. Every single deck has 3 transcend cards of like the instance, the blue instance. So this could potentially be a 3-for-7 3-block, which is pretty decent. Little underrate on power, but overrate, or like I guess it equals out because it is a 3-block, which is really, really nice. Then we have Moon Chakra, which we've seen before. Next time you would be dealt damage this turn, prevent 1 of that damage. If you transcended this turn instead, prevent 3. Really, really good for that. Then we have Essence of Ancestry Mind, a 0-cost 3-block illusionist action aura that says when this leaves the arena, if you control no other illusionist auras, the next time you would be dealt damage just by a blue source this turn, prevent it. So this is very specific to blue. Very good in draft probably, or very good in sealed. We'll have to see how good it is regularly, but it is a blue block 3 that costs 0 to play. So, and has ward 2, so it could potentially be a 1-for-3 go again weapon. So like, why not run it, right? I feel like it's just a staple no matter what. And then we have Astral Etchings. Put a +1 counter on target aura with ward you control. If you control a Spectral Shield token, you may play this as though it were an instant. So it could potentially be a 1-cost instant that gives something +1, which will then give it go again. Super, super good. And it blocks 3, right? Which block 3 blues, I feel like Enigma is going to absolutely love. So that is Enigma's kit. And then we have New's kit. I am most excited for New, just seeing these cards so far. I'm obviously really excited for Zen, but New is just scratching my brain already. Insane. So we have Beckoning Mistblade, the card that was leaked sadly about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It is real. It's a once per turn action, costs 2 to play, attacks for 1, does not have piercing with go again, and it says when it hits your next blue attack action this turn gets +1 go again. I will not deep dive this card right now, but my brain immediately just thinks of blue contracts, because you could have play lines where you pitch a blue, you attack with Beckoning Mistblade, then you attack with, let's say they let it hit, right? So your next blue card gets +1 go again. Then you play Annihilate the Armed blue with your last flowing resource for 4 go again. On hit, banish, if it's attack action card, make a silver. It has go again no matter what, and it's technically still hitting a breakpoint at a blue, which is really good. Then you could say, you tell your opponent, like, okay, you're gonna let this hit. It's got go again, right? It's really good. Normally assassin, you have to give it go again somehow. So now your opponent has to evaluate, is this worth blocking? You're blocking a 4-power blue after just taking that dagger. And then let's say they block it out, and then you play a stealth card. Any stealth card, doesn't matter, because she banishes all cards that defend her stealth cards. So if I play Annihilate the Armed, and let's say you block it out, and then I play a stealth card, I say, if this hits, and because all her new stealth cards say banish the top card of your deck, which we'll see here in a second. I can even show it really quickly. So if I play a blue Annihilate the Armed for 1 for 4 go again, let's say you block it out, and then I play, let's say, Bonds of Memory, that says when this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck, then banish a card from their graveyard. If you don't block this, I'm going to potentially get an attack action off top of your deck and make a silver anyway, or I'm going to go find an attack action in your graveyard and banish it and make a silver. If you do block this, I say, okay, well, if you block this with an attack action, the contract from Annihilate the Armed is still live because it's on the chain. So if you block with an attack action and then it banishes on resolution, I make silver from Annihilate the Armed because I fulfill the contract. I banished an attack action. Doesn't matter how I banished it. So you could do some really dumb stuff with Beckoning Mistblade, I think, and I'm super excited to try it. When it comes to her equipment, we have Aqua Scene Shell. It is cloaked, starts face down, pay 3 as an instant, turn this face up, draw a card. At the start of your turn, destroy this. This is kind of cool. I guess it's a way to get around if you have like a no block in hand, like a chi or like an instant. You could pay 3 to turn this face up, like pitch the no block, and then draw into a new card. So basically it replaces itself. And then it also blocks 1. So you could technically, if you have a no block in hand, get 4 value, right? Or you could block for 4 instead of 0, which is really nice. So excited. That's a good one. We have the arm piece on the right that says attack reaction, pay 1 resource, destroy this, create a Fang Strike in your hand. For anyone that's not aware, I'll go ahead a little bit. Fang Strike is ephemeral, so if it gets put in your graveyard from anywhere, it ceases to exist. And it says target attack action card gets +1, so it's a 0/+1 buff to your attack action cards. So you basically are paying 1 for a +1 buff, and it has battle worn 1, so it's almost like an assassin breaking skills, to be completely honest, except it's any assassin. It's really nice. Then we have Koi Blessed Kimono. Its cloak starts face down. It has similar text to the other ones. While this is equipped face down at the start of your turn, if you have exactly 1 life, you may turn it face up. When this is turned face up, destroy it, search your deck for an inner chi, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. So you'll automatically get her Transcend ability, because then you can pitch the chi, activate her ability, all that stuff. So on the start of your turn, you basically go get a chi, and then you're able to play her ability and play cards from their banish. So super strong there. And then finally, Undertow Stilettos. Attack reaction, pay 1, destroy this, create a Slither in your hand. Slither gives an assassin attack go again. Is it assassin or mystic? I have to remember off the top of my head. Yeah, target attack action card gets go again. Sorry, doesn't even matter. Anything. If you play a Snatch, guess what? You can pay 1, destroy this, go get a Slither, and then react with Slither and give that Snatch go again. Right? So it's basically a 1-time Snapdragon Scalers. but on anything, on any attack. It's not one or less, it's not assassin, nothing, right? It's like a mix of black tips and snaps, but without you just have to pay 1, but you don't have a requirement on what attack you're giving go again, right? Super, super good. I think this card, Undertow Stilettos, because New's going to have so much natural go again, not natural, but ways to get natural go again in her kit. I think Undertow Stilettos, unless they give us some amazing legendary, could be a main boarded leg piece, to be completely honest with you, at common. Then we have her commons in the Blitz deck. We have Mind's Desire. So all of these are very similar. The best way to look at these, I'm oversimplifying it, but the best way to look at these is these are similar to Arachne's contract cards, except they come in for 1 less. And instead of making silver, they gain a life. But they're looking for similar cards, right? Mind's Desire says it's 0 for 3 stealth, 3 block. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. Whenever it banishes a non-attack action card, gain a life. So it's like Slay the Scholars, right? But you gain a life instead of making silver. Bonds of Memory is a stealth that says when it hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck, then banish a card from graveyard. Whenever this banishes a card, if it is banished another card with the same name, gain 1. So basically what you do is this hits, you banish a card. Let's say you're playing against Katsu and you banish a Bonds of Ancestry off the top of their deck. Then you basically want to go look for a Bonds of Ancestry in their graveyard, banish that. That way you gain a life from it, and so on and so forth. So really good for that. Also, if you banished with Mask of Perdition, banished an additional card, you potentially gain 2 life because you banish if it's the same card, right? So there's little like niche stuff. Impulsive Desire says stealth 0 for 3, block 3. It says when this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. Whenever it banishes a reaction or instant card, gain a life. So it's like Already Dead or Nyx the Nimble, but for stealth. And then finally, Desires of Flesh, which when it hits a hero, banish top card of their deck. Whenever this banishes an attack reaction or attack action card, gain a life. So it's like Annihilate the Armed, again, but for stealth. So really interesting here. Because she's a reaction-based deck, I understand why they did 3, because she would just be unbelievable if they put these at 4. There's other ways to buff them through attack reactions. You can play the blue versions of these cards, and off the dagger, they'll come in for 2 go again, which isn't too bad. Basically forcing your opponent to make a decision, right? And if you chain these, again, like I said, with the contract cards, they could get really done really fast, but we're going to have to see. Then we have her rares. So we have Tide Chakra, which is the one we've seen before. Target assassin or mystic attack action card gets +1. If you've transcended, this gets +3. Again, I think Zen's Chakra is actually the best so far. This one's not too bad. I don't like front pumping assassin attacks unless I have like a full 5-card hand, because you just kind of give the information out early. Like, I'd rather be reacting than pumping, I guess is the best way to put it. But it's not that the card's bad. I definitely want to test it. I'm just really interested to see that, right? So we have that. We have Gravekeeping, which is a generic attack action, so anyone can play it. When this attacks a hero, you may banish a card from their graveyard. This is a way for her, for late game especially, too. Let's say they've been really disciplined and not let you banish blue cards or cards that you could use. This allows you to just target banish and be able to go get that card that you want to use when you activate her ability. Then you have Double Trouble, which is my favorite one. I'll go link it down in the description below. They did a Blitz game. LSS Carol and I forgot the other gentleman's name did a Blitz like mock game, and Double Trouble shined in this game. It's a stealth 0 for 3. It says if you've played or activated 2 or more attack reactions, this chain link, this gets +2, and says when it hits a hero, banish the top 2 cards of their deck. So if you play Double Trouble and then you play, let's say, Hiss to give it +3, it comes in for now 5, and then you play Slither to give it go again, because Hiss makes a Slither if you pitch the blue card this turn. So let's say you dagger into Double Trouble, you've pitched the blue, then you play Hiss with your 1 floating, it now comes in for 5, then you play Slither to give it go again, it's now gonna come in for 7, right? Really, really good. Really nuts, right? It's actually gonna be 8. Sorry, 8. I can't even count. Again, 3 a.m. here, y'all. But super, super good. You either could even do some cheeky stuff like where you use her boots, her stilettos, because you attack react to create a Slither in your hand, paying 1, and then play the Slither to give this go again. All of a sudden now it's a 0 for 5 go again. Technically a 1 for 5 because you paid for the boots, but a 1 for 5 go again. On hit, banish 2 cards. Really, really good. Then we have Aura Desire Body. This is my favorite one out of all the rares. This is a stealth 0 for 3 that says when this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. Whenever this banishes a red card, draw a card and gain a life. This is nuts. If you play this with Hiss, right, this could potentially be a 1 for 6 that draws you a card and has go again because you play Hiss and then play Slither on top of it. It's basically a 1 for 6 snatch go again, or it could be, if you have the card, the Hiss to line up with it, right? Or honestly, if you even just play a Slither, right? They don't even, like, maybe you arsenal a Slither the turn prior and then you play this and it's like they know you have the Slither, but you're basically saying like, okay, if you don't respect this, I'm just gonna give it go again, and I also could potentially buff it anyway. So super good card. Like it's Assassin's 3-block snatch essentially. So really good. Then we have Bonds of Attraction. I don't know if this is going to come in a different color. Again, similar to Zen's blue rare. I don't know if this is going to come in red. I hope it does, but I could see why it wouldn't because it's a pretty powerful ability. It's a 0 for 1 stealth, block 3. It says, when this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck, then banish from their graveyard. Whenever this banishes a card, if it is banished another card with the same color, gain a life, right? So if you banish a blue card off the top of their deck, go look for a blue in their grave, banish that, gain a life. Super really good. And you could even do it with reds or yellows or whatever. So really good there. And then finally, what's going to make this deck go? The reactions, right? We have other assassin reactions, attack reactions that we could use as well, but we're looking at the new ones. So the two biggest ones are Slither and Hiss. Those are the ones that were I think, or no, Slither and Fang Strike were the ones that were alluded to back in the old promo. So Slither is ephemeral, which says this can't start the game in your deck. If this would be put in graveyard, instead remove it from the game so it ceases to exist. Target attack action card gets go again. They gave Assassin the one thing that Assassin needed, which was action point economy. This is insane, right? Imagine Arachne right now if Arachne has had this card. It's pretty much what New is now. New is pretty much like a pseudo Arachne, but with go again. It's insane. Being able to give cards go again is going to be able to make you do some really stupid stuff, because before, like, let's say a really powerful attack, right? Let's say I play Surgical Extraction and my boots are not up. My Black Tech Whispers are not alive. How do I give that go again, right? Like, yes, it's a very powerful ability, and yes, you know, you can do a lot of stuff with it with reaction with cut to the chase and stuff, but your opponent knows this is your last attack this turn, so I need to deal with this as is. Whereas with Slither, now if I play that Surgical Extraction, you don't know what I have. I could have a Hiss to then go get Slither. I could have nothing. I could have just a Slither, and then let's say you block 7, I play Slither, give it go again, and then play Leave No Witnesses and destroy your arsenal because you gave me 3 cards, right? Like, there's so many cool things you're going to be able to do with Slither and just play mind games with your opponent, right? Even just playing Hiss, giving your attack +3, and then arsenaling the Slither and saying, all right, I can give my next thing go again when I want to, and you know I can, but how are you going to react to that, right? Are you going to overblock? Are you going to underblock? Are you going to say, F it, I don't care, I just got to take this, right? Like, it's going to really put some mind games on your opponent. I'm super excited for that. Then we have Fang Strike, which is ephemeral as well. It says target attack action card gets +1. This can be made through her specialization, as well as a couple other cards, as we've already seen. Basically a 0 for 1, right? Being able to buff this just a little bit, try to get over the top. Really nice. These don't pitch for anything, so you gotta be careful of that, similar to like Crouching Tigers, but you can keep them in your hand. If you make these, they don't go away at the end of the turn. You can arsenal them. It's just if you use them, they're gonna go to grave and then go away. And then we have Hiss. Basically News Mavrian Skies. I see this being like an 8 of in every deck, 6 to 9 of minimum 6. You're definitely running the reds and the blues. You might run 1 or 2 yellows. A target assassin or mystic attack action card gets +3 at red, +2 at yellow, +1 at blue. If you've pitched a blue card this turn, create a Slither in your hand. So you essentially can do the normal play line of off of a Hiss, a blue, and a stealth card. You can play Art of Desire, or you can pitch it for dagger. It hits, or let's say it's block it, whatever. Then you play Art of Desire. It doesn't get the buff because it's not blue, but it doesn't matter. But you've pitched the blue. It's all you care about. You play this for 3. They say no blocks. Maybe they block 4, right? Then you attack with Hiss, give it +3. Then go make a Slither, get your Slither, give it go again. Now it's coming in for 6 go again. If it banishes a red card, draw a card, right? And then you can play something else, right? Hiss is going to be so good. Being able to give Surgical Extraction go again, right? If you play Leave No Witnesses, or even Leave No Witnesses, play Leave No Witnesses after you play a dagger, and you're able to, give your Leave No Witnesses +3 and then give it go again. You're just going to be able to like have a lot more agency and economy in this class, and I'm super excited for that. And then we have Venomous Bite. This is a 1-cost 3-block attack reaction that says target assassin or mystic attack action gets +3, just like Hiss. And if you pitch the blue card this turn, this create a Fang Strike in hand. So Hiss will create Slithers, Venomous Bite will create Fang Strike, right? Super cool. I'm really excited. It's going to be interesting to see the dichotomy of like how many reactions do you run versus how many attacks, how many blue cards do you run, because some cards care about you playing blue cards, some cards care about you pitching blue cards. Really cool synergies that I'm really excited to explore. This set seems like it's going to be a deck builder's dream to me a little bit. Some really complex heroes that you're really going to have to tinker with and figure out. And I'm really excited to see even people better than me at building decks really go through this and have some fun with it. But that is all of the equipment. It was a lot, but I tried to give you at least a digestible way to like go through all the key new cards. Hopefully this made sense. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If I missed something, if I think I explained something, you want me to cover something else, please let me know. I definitely will. We'll also be covering the other cloaked equipment and stuff as well. Don't worry. I was going to do that tomorrow, but I ended up having to do this. But thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not, me, it's totally fine. Go to another creator. We have a lot of creators doing some really cool spoilers. Go to the Fabry page, look at the spoilers, go down to the article down below, go check those people out, give them some support. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.